Right. Hey everyone, I'm Klloo. So, a bit of a different one today. I have a whole bunch of armory decks that I have been meaning to open and that I've just definitely not gone around to, right? So, Dash, Jarl, and an Aurora deck, right? So, usually I buy two of each, one to keep and just, hold on to, sealed and everything. Although, not so sealed anymore, right? A little bit of a gripe, right? The Bolton and the KO come in a nice plastic wrap, and then they cut that off. And I remember getting the Azalea back way back then, and just thinking, "What's up with this? Did I get a tampered with box, etc.?" Because there was also the alt color hidden agenda. I don't know if it was a printing error or there's actually just different colored hidden agendas, right? The actual artwork, but yeah. Anyway, we'll open some armory decks. Forgive the giant pile of bulk. I've been basically going through my bulk and just pulling out cards of interest, like sigils, T-bones, anything mech, ranger related, or just staple, rare generics or common cards, right? That might be of interest, and I have to sort a whole ton. I mean, I can literally, I have my cupboard open right now, so I could, just go like that, and then yeah, you can see that's what I've done. That's what's still to be done. Well, that way. Actually, I've done the top, so the white boxes and the boxes up there. But I still have all that bulk to go through, right? So fun, fun. But nonetheless, enough of a weird intro. I mean, this is a weird video altogether, right? We're opening armory decks. They're kind of stock standard, but we can still, touch on a few things when it comes to, for instance, the Gravy Bones armory deck, right? And we've done a little video on it, what I personally would like to see. But now we have literal comparisons for comparison's sake. So, start off with Aurora, right? So, deck, nice and compact here. And we can even, sort of think about what it would kind of look like, again, to just convert it to a blitz deck. Because, to be honest, I would highly assume that all of these, if they just put out, an article post, they could easily recommend cards to cut and transition over to a somewhat competent blitz deck, right? So technically, all the products have already been blitz compatible. You just have to use your noggin a little bit and figure out what cards to change, right? But when it comes to the Gravy Bones Armory deck, we know it's a 60 card deck, so it's still not going to involve sideboarding or, alternative equipment or any real alternatives between Class Constructed and Blitz. It is just going to be a straight take out these 20 cards and here's your Blitz decks. But, alright, Aurora nonetheless, we're bin boxes over there somewhere. Right, so, yeah. Aurora, where are the cards we want? So, Arc Lightning is a very, very valid case of what we want to see in Gravy Bones, right? I want to see cards that are, again, staples for Necromancer be accessible through the Armory box. Armory, what are they called? Armory deck. I don't know why my brain lagged. Anyway, so yes, I would like to see cards that are for Necromancer, again, most likely Majestics that we see in High Seas, be, again, printed accessibly in the Armory deck, so that again there is not this bottleneck that we see with a lot of the actual assassin cards, right? We can still have, unique cards that will only be found in the Armory deck, like our Rune in the Stars, Skyward Serenade, and Skazak. Although, again, worth mentioning, so Skyward Serenade and Skazak, especially because this is a relatively new Armory deck, are attracting a large portion of the deck's value already, right? I think Skazak's like $16. US-wise, more than half of the actual deck box price, or slightly, right? So yeah, that is kind of what I don't want to see. I don't want to see the Armory deck act as a bottleneck for things. Now, where are the shinies? The shinies are reversed. Good to know. Right, so again, equipment-wise, we highly expect that we will get same sort of treatment, right? Rainbow foils and a set of 4 pieces akin to Necromancer or Pirate. It might be Pirate. Pirate gets into a little bit more eerie waters, if you will, because if it's, again, desirable for Pirate as a whole, right? Something to do with gold, something to do with treasure, whatever Pirate's mechanic is going to be, then that still creates a bottleneck because you have an armory deck that, again, is for 2 new classes, right? Because Pirate is technically a class. But if we get cards, equivalent to these cards, like Shock Rock, Cap Quick Thinking, Zap Clappers, and our Starlight Striders, I will be exceptionally happy, right? Because these are not, they're not weak, but they're not necessary, they're not super powerful. There are alternatives to all of them. I mean, even Shock Rock, for instance, its effect is, aside from the Battle Worn, its effect is nothing fantastic, right? It's akin to the Blossoming Spring, right? Yeah, kind of. kind of, right? Again, the Battle Worn gives it a little bit extra juice, but yes, that's the level of equipment that I would like to see, right? And then, yeah, again, to the 3 variants, if you will. So I would assume, especially for the Majestics, we will get, right, a Rainbow Foil, we'll get a CC stamped one. Maybe the Rainbow Foil won't be CC stamped, but then that gives the Rainbow Foil maybe even an edge overall, because the Rainbow Foil is already Rainbow Foil, and also doesn't have whatever the CC stamping will be. I'm hoping it's just a small stamp, right, on the black border somewhere, not, behind. Well, I suppose if it's behind, if it's the icon, it's not too bad either. But if it's like, the, what was the most recent Pokemon, right, the anniversary stuff, right, with the Pikachu tag, if it's a giant CC label on the art, that's going to be a bit disheartening. But, yeah, it's weird to think that Skazak, right, again, because this is the only way to get it, is a rare that, again, has such a high value to it. Because, yeah, if it's only available in one product, the rarity means nothing, right? So, yeah, again, I really, really want to see that the Armory deck does not bottleneck things. I don't think there's anything else of super interest that I do want to pull out of here, right? I will most likely retool the deck anyway. We get some generics. Now, in terms of the generics for Necromancer, right? Yeah, there will be generics. But in comparison to this deck, for instance, right? I don't think Captain's Call sticks around for long, nor Snatch definitely does, but Captain's Call definitely does not need to be in this deck. That's probably the easiest card to upgrade to something more meaningful for Aurora. So again, that's where we'll probably be at with Gravy Bones as well. But enough about Aurora. What about Dash? So Dash, again, very similar. We have a class powerful card, but again, because of the current buzz around Aurora, we have Skazak, Scarlet Serenade, being worth more than our Cerebellum Processor, even though Cerebellum Processor does seem like a very, very powerful card, and we do have Mech coming around. It's just, again, Aurora is currently topping all competitive formats, right? So that's definitely something. And then we have a love of a new class slash the thematics of Necromancer. So, yeah, that is definitely something to keep into mind when it comes to the cards we actually see in the Armory deck. But, nonetheless, let's compare it to our Dash. So, Dash.io, rubbish over there, right? So, shinies once again, our 4 pieces of equipment. Yeah, just jumbled a little bit. So, we have, oh, is that Nick? Nope, good. Just something from the pack. Right, so again, 4 pieces, our heavy heavy industry surveillance. I'm going back and forth. I'm meant to always read from here, right? That way you can see, and it's like I'm talking to you instead of looking down here at the cards, but, habit. Right, our heavy industry gear shift, ram stop, and power plant. So power plant being a okay substitute to Foundry, right? Is something. Well, it's not really, because Foundry is just so much value over the course of the game, right? But still, whenever you boost this turn gain 1 resource, you can try and make something of that. But then just the defensiveness and the other impact of some of these cards, right? Destroy this, banish top 2 cards of your deck, gain 1 action point for each. The banish 2, obviously really nice in Data Doll. And then again, the fact that Battle Worn Temper, right? So extra use out of the equipment, but still mid-level equipment. Not mandatory, but still good. That's where we're at. For Gravy Bones, the only other issue is there won't be anything, most likely, that Gravy Bones has to compete with, right? Again, going through the set numbers, it doesn't seem like Gravy Bones is going to have an excessive amount of extra equipment, right? Or at least any variety to try different things. It will very much be what LSS has currently mapped out for Necromancer, which makes a lot of sense, right? Streamline it and then open up variety once we get extra sets to pump it up, right? Similar to what we've seen with Assassin. They tried with Contract, opened it up with Stealth, and now we're to the point where, there are a bit of viable different options. You've got React builds, you've got just straight buff builds, you've got Contract, kinda, and then you have Stealth, right? And then whatever new wants to do. So, yeah. Then we have our other cards. So again, Cerebellum Processor. If Mech goes up and up and up, it definitely seems like Cerebellum Processor will go up and up and up. But currently, again, in comparison to Aurora, it doesn't hold a candle. Oh, I didn't know it came with Steam counters. That's cool, right? I know we got the embodiments and everything. I have not seen these counters. Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see how it overlaps with Max, right? And again, just quickly thumb through. I just realized these are the right way. Did I flip them? I didn't flip them, did I? No. So they were reversed. there's some weird assembly sometimes with the cards, right? But yeah, so it being a mech deck, right? You don't want to miss, so no generics. So yeah, again, seems like Gravy Bones is definitely a bit more open. Wait, no, Dash was. I have flipped it. I've lost Dash. Dash is in there somewhere, right? I put it on top. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then we have the Origins Armory Deck. So this is the more exceptional product, if you will, right? A way to introduce a new hero such as the Jarl, and I would assume we do see more for Necromancer especially. Again, the Armory decks as a whole is a very, very easy way for them to basically give a supplemental set that isn't a supplemental set, right? So again, we had Arachnian Dynasty followed by Outsiders. That was the end of supplemental sets, kind of, right? Dust Till Dawn, technically supplemental, did not feel as a true supplemental set. But generally speaking, right, since we're no longer getting supplemental sets, we do need incremental boosts to card pools, especially if we want to, open up and diversify the playstyle. So I am kind of expecting another Necromancer, but probably a non-pirate Necromancer, to have another Armory deck Origins. That sort of makes sense to me, right? Probably something for Savage Lands. The Savage Lands is the final set of the year, right? I can see that being just a straight Necromancer. But yeah, we get extra cards, we get, legendaries to pump as well, right? Because again, the legendary card pool for other heroes is definitely more extensive than what it will be for Necromancer, even if they give them, two in high seas, and I doubt it. I'm pretty sure it'll be, one Necromancer, one Ranger, one Mech, one Pirate, one generic, and something else, right? Probably reprint, inline strike or something, right? So yeah, that's definitely something to consider. And then in terms of the actual, power level, if we were to see a Origins Armory deck, well, that went pretty far. Plastic is tough sometimes. Luckily, still in its nice little thin protective sheet, right? There's only a few cards we want in here anyway, so yeah. Weapon-wise, right? That's another curiosity. So I wouldn't mind the deck having another weapon, right? Whatever we get as the main weapon, draft weapon, and then the armory deck providing, maybe a little bit better of a weapon. But again, I don't want to see a bottleneck. Really, it all just comes down to the print run and what LSS decides. If it's printed akin to what we've seen currently with armory decks, I'm going to be very worried, because it being a new class, I think a lot more people want to at least try it and experience it. And again, grabbing the armory deck is the easiest way to jumpstart that, right? Rebound Trunks was new, right? I know Tectonic Crust was definitely new. I feel like the imagery is just getting me confused with Well Grounded. Yeah. So one legendary, Gauntlets. So again, if we see a legendary in the set, having another legendary by way of an armory deck later in the year, be completely happy with it. Or at least, I would say Necromancer is definitely, ripe for the next expansion slots going forward for the next few sets. And then, yeah, again, just as per usual, Majestics, a new card. So this being an Origins, we do get more Majestics, right? Although, new Majestics to what was it, 4 to 2, I think, usually, right? In comparison. So we got 4 new Majestics in this, as well as staple Majestics, which is, again, still a ton of Majestics. 23, I want to say. Was it 23? Whatever the page stated, right? So again, excessively more than what the other armory decks did have for us. What cards do I want to pull out? I want to pull out new stuff. I want to pull out the specs. The reason I'm opening the armory deck is actually for Cheyenne, not to play Jarl, unfortunately. I like Jarl's playstyle, but I'm not a Guardian player. I'm not a blocky player, right? I want to just do shenanigans. So yeah, I'm just looking for the specs so that I can stick them in Cheyenne, although I only need 2 of each, so that's fine. I think that's all of them. Autumn's Touch is also a weird one, right? I saw Autumn's Touch foil is like post $10 or something like that, right? Or close to. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, there we go. There's the 3. I don't know if that fills any cravings for opening, but we had a nice little discussion while doing so, right? I've gotten the cards I wanted. I'll put the equipment in a folder or something, right? But the specs, more or less, yeah. I think it's just Crumble to Eternity that I like, right? Because it acts as another ice card for, I want to say Blizzard, but it's not Blizzard. Ice Eternal, right? And then it's just a 3-block anyway. The -1 is also kind of nice if need be. I'm forgetting Unforgiving. That's a 4-block, I guess, is kind of okay. But the fact that you can't find Mangle with it is obviously not as nice, right? So I think it's just Crumble to Eternity that I want. For Dash, for Mech coming up, Fast and Furious kind of seems interesting. Fast and Furious should have some at least play potential with the Max deck to come, right? So yeah, Fast and Furious is probably something I might pull out. And again, the Cerebellum processor is as good as Mech is currently, right? So again, as Mech goes better, if Puffin's really nice, then we will see Cerebellum processor probably become nicer and nicer, because again, it's just a nice pitchable that is also a nice draw engine, right? Especially if we, can create golden cogs or in excess golden cogs, and you can crank it somehow, right? And you can go positive with action points for Puffin. I'm sure they've learnt their lesson, and it's going to be difficult to go positive with Puffin, but still, they're the cards I do want to pull out from the deck. The only one I'm probably keeping mostly as is the Aurora, just so I can play her for a bit. Although I'm just gonna probably tune her to Arc Lightning, cash out, and some more blues, right? And just have some fun trying to go that way. Add in some Flicker Wisps. It's a shame that you only get 2 Arc Lightnings in this deck, right? Because I don't think I actually have one. Rosetta and Heavy Hitters were 2 of the sets I actually opened. Kind of not a lot of, mainly because they were, at the time, hard to get at release, right? And that's another concern to come, right? With Heavy Seas, that the print run, because of the treasure packs, is going to be underestimated and is going to dry up super quick. And then you also have the season shortage, if you will, in between High Seas and the next set, right? And for draft or limited for whatever your armory does could be a little bit concerning, but I forgot Rain in the Stars. And Skazak. Skazak, I forgive myself because it's a rare, right? So I wasn't looking for the rare, but where are they? There's the Rain in the Stars and Skazak's right on top. Yeah. Alright. That'll do me. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah.